Friday, June 13th. This is the Lion Channel. I'm John, day 43 of my manifesting journey. Today, going to be a shorter video. It's already like 5 o'clock, happy hour, I guess, to some people on Friday. And it's my father-in-law's birthday, so he's on his way over. We're having hot sausage. He requested hot sausage. Apparently, he likes hot sausage too. Somebody asked, they hadn't heard me talk about hot sausage in a while, so I guess that's why I'm talking about a hot sausage. Um, so I want to get down there for that, but I wanted to talk about some glitches that have happened over the past, I guess, 24 hours since I made the last video. Just to prove that, again, this is a simulation, and whatever you're focused on, uh, it's going to bring more of that, and it all starts in here, like your imagination. Um, so first one is Switzerland. Okay, yesterday I was on David's school community, and somebody had made a post about them being from Switzerland. They had just joined the community, and for whatever reason, I felt inclined to click on the picture and just kind of look at the background because I've never been to Switzerland. I was curious to see like if I could see like any landscape in the background. Um, and so that was it. I didn't really think too much about it after that, but I guess my momentary focus and curiosity about Switzerland had impressed the subconscious mind. And so what happened later that night, my daughter just randomly started talking about Switzerland and mentioning Switzerland. I forget actually how it came up because I wasn't even really in the conversation. I was just over, and I think she was talking to my wife, and I heard her talking about Switzerland, and so I connected it, and I was like, "Huh, okay." And then uh, they proceeded to pick out a movie for us to watch last night, and it was the starts with a W. The Wimble Bombs. It was like an animated movie, and the kid, man, maybe it'll come to me towards later in the video. But anyway, in the movie, towards the end, the parents were visiting Switzerland. Okay, so that's 3 times Switzerland, 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 Switzerland. So you figure, okay, that's it, right? No. Today, I'm listening to one of David's Q&As, and on his live, on the recording, he talks about Joe Dispenza and how somebody was asking a question about one of Joe Dispenza's retreats in Switzerland. Okay. So within 24 hours, on 4 separate occasions, Switzerland has been mentioned because I was curious about Switzerland. All right. So that's number one. Number two, um, one of my, I guess, kind of faithful watchers, Brent. Okay. He's from New Zealand, and he wished me a happy birthday. It was a while ago, mentioned he was from New Zealand. And Brent, I love your updates. Keep them coming. He's talking about how his life's changing, okay, since he, I guess, started applying the law of assumption and falling asleep in the wish fulfilled. But anyway, he made a comment yesterday, and he was talking about some things, and I thought, to reply to his comment, you left out the best part, which is that you live in New Zealand. But I didn't respond. I got caught up in other things, and I never made that response. But later that night, in the same conversation with my wife about Switzerland, my daughter just mentions that she was talking to somebody earlier in the day, and they said that if you want to visit New Zealand, you have to stay there for 128 days. Turns out that that's not true, but the point of it is that my daughter again mentioned something that I had a thought about or was thinking about, something obscure like New Zealand. I don't think I've ever heard her talk about New Zealand in her entire life, and she's 9.5 years old. Okay, and then the last glitch. All right, I've had on my list of things to do, not on my non-negotiables. Okay, my list of things to do, I separate it into two categories. I have a category of non-negotiables that I always like, it's non-negotiable. Like I said, if I don't complete one of those non-negotiable, like I won't sleep until the non-negotiables are checked off, until I complete them all. The other things are just things that I put on the list that I am maybe, I'll get to, okay? Or they're coming up like within the next week, or something that sounds fun to do when I'm looking for something to do. All right. So I've had Corvette on my list in terms of, like, Corvette is a car that will be coming into my experience, that I will be driving. I'm not sure when, but it will be a manifestation and you'll get to see that. All right. But I have it on the list because I haven't really like watched. I know I love how it looks. I love the design of the car, but other than that, I don't know much about it. And so in my visualizations, I'm really just seeing the outside of the car, and I'm not really, like, even when I visualize myself driving it, I've never really like seen anybody driving it. So I don't have that information. So I wanted to, quote unquote, download the information so I could add it to my vision, so the experience in my imagination would feel even more real than it already does. And so anyway, I've had it on my list for weeks, okay? And I just haven't gotten to it. And so last night, the first time I was laying there in bed, I usually watch David's Q&As, but instead I decided to finally watch a couple videos on the Corvette and people who have owned, a Corvette, and, they've put 40,000 miles on it, 100,000 miles on it, talking about all the features of the Corvette. Okay. And I probably watched it for like 45 minutes to an hour last night, 4 or 5 videos. And then today, another video popped up that I didn't watch last night. So I started watching it. Okay. And David's community, I have it connected. So there are alerts that pop up on my phone, people that I'm following, kind of like Facebook or like social media if you're on one of those sites. But the notification will show what the person is actually posting about. Okay. And so as I'm watching the video of the Corvette, now, mind you, I've been on David's school for 5, 6 weeks. There has not been a single post about cars, about car manifestations that I've seen. Okay. Maybe there has been one, maybe I missed one. Okay. But a person that I'm following while I'm watching the video of the Corvette makes a post about, now that you have all of this money, right? Because it's the law of assumption, you're acting as if, what car are you going to buy? And so I'm like, wow. I was like, that's interesting. Let me see if he has Corvette on here or if he's talking about a Corvette. And I go and I click on the post, and he only has, like, I think he listed 10 cars, 10 options that you could check off. And the very first one at the top was Corvette. And so I immediately posted underneath, like, this is a glitch. I was just watching a video about a Corvette. All right, so these are glitches. These are just examples of it. They're just examples of glitches that show you that this is a simulation, that everything starts in here. Okay, your imagination creates your reality. So I'm focused on Corvettes. I was curious about Switzerland. I've been talking about New Zealand. That's ending up in my experience. Okay, I'm not driving so since I'm seeing these things and just like kind of, so that's where, and I guess I didn't want to get too deep into this, but this is where the imagination and the law of assumption comes into play. Because even though I'm curious about Switzerland, right? I'm only seeing glitches. I'm not actually experiencing Switzerland because I'm not experiencing it in my mind. I'm just seeing all these things of Switzerland. All right. So that's why it's so important to go into your imagination and think from the experience. Because if you're just thinking of Corvettes, that's all you're going to see. You're going to see people posting about Corvettes. You're going to walk outside. Somebody's going to be driving by in a Corvette, and you're going to see all these things happening with Corvettes, but you're not going to be necessarily be owning a Corvette. But when you start thinking and using your imagination as if you already have it, that's when it comes to life. And then it actually comes into your experience, and you are the person with the Corvette, or you are taking the vacation in Switzerland or in New Zealand. All right. So just wanted to share that. 12 and a half minutes, not bad. Enjoy your Friday night. I definitely will. And I will see you tomorrow, day 44. That's one of my lucky numbers. So enjoy your night. Should be fun. Hope you have fun. And I'll talk to you later.